opened this week in the red zone after the rally during the previous session. The data on China's export released on Sunday showed a 1.1% decline despite expectations for a 1% growth. The OPEC Plus meeting is finally over, so market participants will focus once again on the trade dispute between the US and China. The Russian currency is losing ground following the drop in oil prices. The decision of OPEC and allies at the meeting in Vienna has pleased the traders and slightly raised the prices. Goldman Sachs has revised its forecast for Brent oil for next year to $63 per barrel, whereas the previous expectations were set at $60 per barrel. Last week, Brent crude gained 6.2%, showing the highest growth rate since the end of September. WTI has surged by 7.3%, the fastest pace since the end of June. However, today both brands are drifting lower, with Brent trading at $62.92 and WTI at $58.85 per barrel. In general, the market's reaction to the output cuts introduced by OPEC Plus and the fact that Saudi Arabia agreed with the limits was quite sluggish. This was mainly due to the fact that major participants have been already producing less oil than set by the limits. Moreover, the output of natural gas liquid from non-OPEC countries was not included in the production curbs. The next meeting is expected to be held in March. It seems that Saudi Arabia wants to have an opportunity to influence oil producers in case they fail to fulfill their obligations. Over the past week, the ruble has been steadily rising against the dollar. However, today the Russian currency is retreating moderately, with the dollar-ruble pair holding at the level of 63.73. The ruble may gain momentum during the first half of the week. The Russian currency can be supported by the resumption of the contacts with the Norman 4 and high oil prices. More risks may appear later in the week. On Wednesday, the US Senate will discuss the introduction of new sanctions against Russia, which is likely to have a negative influence on the Russian market. Besides, the peak of external debt payments in December will continue to weigh down on the ruble. Moreover, the increase in foreign currency purchases before the holidays may also affect the exchange rate of the ruble. This week is expected to be rather eventful. The market sentiment will be mainly influenced by the meetings of the Fed, the ECB and the Bank of Russia, as well as the US-China trade negotiations. The new round of tariffs on Chinese goods, scheduled for December 15, is likely to be delayed. However, the markets have been expecting such a scenario. Therefore, existing external and internal factors can lead to a moderate weakening of the Russian currency. That's all for now. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.